So we're just about a week away from the Nintendo Switch 2 officially releasing, and well, it seems like some people have already managed to get the system ahead of time. We kind of predicted that this was probably going to happen as soon as we started getting those images that stores had already begun receiving their inventory, and they had images of like a bunch of Switch 2s locked up in a cage and stuff. We all knew that there was going to be some store somewhere out there where they probably made a deal like under the table or something with the manager and got to take one home early or something like that. And so that has happened now in a few different regions, and so we've had some videos coming out now for what the unboxing is going to look like and all the stuff that is going to be packaged inside of it, but also kind of what the initial like startup is going to look like and stuff. Now it seems like Nintendo has been going around and taking down all of these videos, so I'm not really going to show any clips, but it's about what you would expect. What I think is kind of funny is that there's actually like a little bit of music when you start up your Nintendo Switch 2 like for the first time, and it actually goes through like showing you the home menu for the first time, and then there's never any music again because you don't have any music on the home menu, so that's kind of unfortunate. But yeah, besides that, I mean, they kind of showed like some stuff on the settings, and I think one thing that was really nice is that there is a way to configure the HDR settings for like your TV so that you don't have like the brightness be too bright or like the darks be too dark and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be kind of tweaking around with a little bit of that, but overall, I mean, it's kind of what you would expect. And really the big thing is that Nintendo has made it so that you can't use a Nintendo Switch 2 at all right now, even to play Switch 1 games or anything, until you get this big day one patch that's going to be available on launch day. And I've seen some mixed reactions about this. Like, on one hand, it's good because it basically prevents any types of leaks from happening, because this way, even right now, if somebody gets a hold of Mario Kart World with the cartridge, they can't really play it because no Switch 2 is going to let you until you get this day one patch, so you're not going to have any leaks coming out or anything like that, so that's pretty good. But I've seen some people saying that this is bad for like the preservation because you can't just buy a system and be able to play the game, though I feel like this is probably only going to be for launch units that are going to be like the initial shipment of Switch 2s. I do think that like within the next 2 or 3 years, like if you buy a Switch 2, it's probably going to have the day one patch installed on it and you'll just be able to play it like any other system. But I think just because of like these initial launch ones, they don't want any information leaking or anything like that, so they all are kind of missing everything until you get the day one patch. Now, Summer Game Fest is also going to be happening next week, and they also posted this image here showing kind of all of the different companies that are going to be represented there. And the one thing that has been getting a lot of people excited is we can actually see here the Nintendo Switch 2 logo does appear. Now, a lot of people are thinking, well, Nintendo never shows up at Jeff Keighley events, and you're pretty much right. They rarely ever have any type of information. But the one thing that is weird is that, like, I don't think that they can just use the logo for this, like, in terms of just having, like, games that are going to be on the Switch 2, because there's been, like, Summer Game Fest announcements in the past where they also said that the game is coming to the current Nintendo Switch, but we never got to see, like, the current Nintendo Switch logo that appeared when they were showing all of the games and other companies that were going to be at Summer Game Fest. So the fact that the Nintendo Switch 2 logo is appearing this time is kind of a little bit sus. It does make it seem like maybe there is going to be some type of Nintendo presence. I still don't think that it's going to be anything major, like they're not going to be coming here and dropping like a new Mario game or something crazy, but maybe there is going to be kind of a second party announcement, because they have done those types of things before with like Platinum Games, like announcing like that Bayonetta prequel game, and I think they've done like a Bravely Default or something like that too, where it's like a Switch 2 exclusive, or like that game was a Switch exclusive, but they basically kind of do that where it's like with another company, but they're partnering together, and then they do the reveal at a Jeff Keighley event. So it could be something like that, and maybe we could see some Nintendo Switch 2 kind of games get announced that way, but I'm not really expecting anything crazy in terms of like Nintendo first party. But honestly, in terms of some other big news, we actually got the release date for Pokemon Legends ZA, which was announced earlier this morning, and so they actually gave us the box art here too of what the game is going to look like, and I honestly really do like this box art. I think it has a nice contrast in terms of like what the Pokemon Legends Arceus one was like, with how it was like you looking out into the wilderness and it was daytime, and this one's got some like heated Mega Evolutions and Pokemon battles going on at nighttime. Like, that's pretty cool as well. And yeah, the release date is going to be on October 16th, 2025. And so it's honestly a little bit surprising, because pretty much anytime Pokemon says that the game is coming out at the late part of the year, that pretty much always means that it's going to be a holiday game in November, right before Thanksgiving. And that's pretty much always been the case with Pokemon since, like, I think what, like Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I think that came out in November of 2014, and then ever since then, like Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, Let's Go, Sword and Shield, I think Scarlet and Violet, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, like pretty much everything with Pokemon has always been coming out in November. So the fact that this is coming out in October now is honestly kind of poetic, because Pokemon X and Y, the original games, came out in October as well. So we're now going back to that with this Kalos game here. And honestly, to me, the big thing from this is that it shows that Nintendo wants something else to be like the big holiday November game. And I mean, it is rumored that we're going to be getting a Nintendo Direct pretty soon, and I think that's going to solidify kind of like the schedule for pretty much all of these big releases now to the end of the year. But the way I see it, I think in June, we're going to have Mario Kart World with the Nintendo Switch 2 at the launch, and then after that, a month after, in July, we're going to be getting Donkey Kong Bonanza. But then in August, I think the August game is now going to be Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and in the Direct, we'll probably get the actual release date for that. And then September, I think September might be like Kirby Air Riders, October is going to be Pokemon Legends ZA, and then November is going to be the Zelda game with the Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. And I think Zelda, Nintendo knows that it's going to sell pretty well because it's just a Zelda game, it's based off of Tears of the Kingdom and stuff, and Age of Calamity sold pretty well too, so they're probably kind of just banking on that maybe. But I feel like that might be kind of like the release schedule now going for the rest of the year, where pretty much every month you have one big major release to look forward to. But who knows, maybe Nintendo has some other surprises that we're also going to learn about very soon. Oh, and this was kind of weird, but they also announced the next Pokemon Presents, but it's like 2 months away for some reason. So it says here, catch the latest Pokemon news in our next Pokemon Presents on July 22nd at 6 a.m. PST. So I don't think we've ever gotten any Pokemon presentation announced like 2 months in advance before. I wonder if it's going to be like a really big presentation and they just want to kind of tell us ahead of time. Maybe it's going to have some other announcements and things too, but I've also seen some people saying that, like I said, there are rumors that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct, and in the last one we did get some information about Pokemon Legends ZA, so I'm guessing there isn't going to be any inside of this one, and because of that, people might be wondering like what's going on with that game, why aren't we hearing anything? So now we have this date to look forward to, so when that Nintendo Direct happens and there's no Pokemon in there, people aren't going to be worrying about where that's going to be. You're just going to have to wait until July 22nd. But yeah, there you go guys, that is pretty much all the information that we have right now. The Nintendo Switch 2 is just a few days away, and of course once it does come out, I am going to be covering it here on the channel with some pretty interesting videos for you guys to watch, so definitely be sure to stay tuned for that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely be sure to click that like button and also subscribe to the channel as well. I'm definitely going to have some more videos talking about Pokemon and the Switch 2, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Comment down below and let me know what you think about all of this. How do you feel about the release date for Pokemon Legends ZA and this Pokemon Presents and everything going on with the Switch 2 and Summer Game Fest? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. But if you don't have anything to say about it, just comment your favorite emoji down below for some engagement. I would really appreciate it. Go follow me on Twitter at @Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros and Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.